I never felt more alive than riding shotgun in Klein's Green 5 until the cops pulled guns.
In Red Hook, Brooklyn, one of the poorest, most dangerous sections of New York, where jobs are scarce and drugs and crime are rampant.
Yeah. Back from that syndicate, that Klein syndicate.
That's a legend, Klein, right here, everybody. Come on
Definitely
now.
a legend. Red Hook legend in the house, in the building, the BK
Brooklyn
Dome.
legend.
Thank you.
All over legend right now,
I'm
man.
humble for all this. I'm humble. Red Hook, stand up.
Stand up, Red
That's
Hook.
what's up, Red Hook. Red Hook is in the house.
That's right.
We got him, y'all.
That's right.
Calvin Klein's in the building.
Yeah, it was a minute too. We were trying to, thanks to
Definitely.
We were patient, but we was like,
definitely.
I've been moving around so
Yeah,
much.
we
man.
know.
I sit back like this now, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy, man. Like,
How you got all the energy for that?
I don't know, man. It's just for real. Like, you know what? I've been sitting on the bench, you know what I mean, for a minute, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, period. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, all right.
once I came out with the book, you know, that was in 2014. Neighborhoods on the Siege, you know, it took it by storm, which I was hopeful that it would do that.
Okay.
I went out as a motivated speaker, you know, I went to D.C., spoke in D.C., spoke in Vegas, I spoke at Harvard University, you know, all through Rikers Island and, you know, different other places in Connecticut, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, that just put me on a different, you know, a different plane, you know what I mean, in my mind, you know, of the need that I know that people need to hear these type of stories, though. But what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to go in unless I really had it in my heart to really tell the truth about my story and everything else. Like, you know, some things you keep to yourself because you have to, you know, statute of limitations, you know, for those type of things, you know, you don't, you know, you stay away from. But for whatever it is that I can talk about, you know, I'm far more willing to do so. You know what I mean?
What made you come out and talk about your stuff? 'Cause it's a lot of.
I didn't want to take my story to my grave.
Right.
You know what I mean? I really didn't. I didn't want to have somebody else tell it, and then, you know, when somebody die, everybody get up and stand in line on one long ass line before they get to you and talk about how you was this and how you was that and everything else.
You
know
was,
what I mean?
right?
Like, yeah, I was a good dude, but I was a different type of other dude too when I did it. And a lot of people talk about, like, you know, Red Hook. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. It's a gift and a curse for me with Red Hook, though, because I was good to Red Hook, but I was fucked up to Red Hook too. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't sit here.
In which way you say
that?
that?
In Red Hook, because I was part of the destruction.
Right.
I was part of the destroying Red Hook. But my thing was that every one of us had a crackhead in our household. You know what I mean? And as I had one, you know, but I felt like, you know, the head of my household. And seeing the head of my household like that when I came home after I got out in 1986 from upstate, I felt betrayed. You know what I mean? You know, from my hood, I felt betrayed when I was a younger kid. When somebody tried to rape my mom's when I was 2 years old, all these things started coming back in my head.
Right.
You know, I felt betrayed when somebody tried to molest me when I was a child. You know what I mean? When I was like almost 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. You know, my first girlfriend, you know, she got killed and stabbed in front of her, you know, her whole family because her brothers was, you know, allegedly drug dealers, and, you know, they owed money to these dudes, and they ran up in the house and was like either one thing or the other, and they wound up stabbing her in front of the whole family.
A lot of this happened after you was in the game, or
no? This happened before. You know what I mean? So, you know,
so that's
and this was what led me to, like, you know, have a love-hate relationship for Red Hook. You know what I mean? Like, this is like really the first time I really ever said this. You know what I mean? That, you know, my feelings for, you know, for Red Hook, not maybe so much the you know, the tenants, you know, or the residents that lived there like that. You know, it was an outside person that, you know, because I saw him later on.
Right.
You know, months later during they was playing music in the park in Coffee Park.
Oh, so you
know
know
what I
who
mean?
it was?
Yeah, I saw the dude.
Right.
It's like a second time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I hit him in the face with a stick, you know what I mean, and everything else. And I tried to, you know, my brother was there. They jumped him, you know what I mean, and everything else, though. But for me, I carried that in my heart for like about 20-something years, you know what I mean? Like, you know, resenting my brother, you know what I mean? That why we didn't kill this dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's what made me have a love-hate relationship even with my own brother, you know what I mean? That's the only reason, like, a lot of people never understood why me and my brother was going through the things that we was going through. And it took me 30 years to explain that to my brother, and I only explained it to him because I had that book coming out.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
How he took that?
You know, he was hurt behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because he always never understood it. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, damn, man, like
he never even knew you felt that way.
Never. Only time he found out how I felt is in 2012. You know what I mean?
Wow.
2012. You know what I mean? And you know, we both, you know, had a lot of pain in us, and we both spoke about it and everything else. And you know, I was like, yo, man, I hated you, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hated you because we didn't kill that dude when we had him. You know what I mean? And he was like, he was thrown away behind it because he was like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I didn't even know that you felt like that. You know what I'm saying?
Crushed on
like, yeah, you know, but but to be honest with you, like I said, when men talk, men resolve. But it took a long time, like, for me to really feel like, you know, with my brother, like, I love my brother, but for a long time I only loved my brother because he was my mother's son. You know what I mean? And after that, I love my brother. After we had a conversation, I love my brother because he's my brother. You know what I mean? You know, and that's like till death do us part. Like, can't nobody say nothing about my brother. They really couldn't say it back then. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever me and my brother was going through,
yeah.
You know, don't get in between that. You know what I'm saying? Because like me and my brother might not be talking back in the days or whatever, but as soon as I hear my brother got a problem, I'm the first nigga online.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or the same thing. Like, as soon as I got a problem, my brother one of the first online. You know what I mean? To go to war, to go to bat, because that's how we was raised.
Yeah, the love is there. The definitely is there. Like,
Yeah,
even if y'all walk away after y'all do whatever.
Hands down. We can do whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, okay, be good out here, be safe out here.
So what made Klein want to reinvent himself, you know, and get out the game and say fuck all this shit?
I got tired of losing. You know what I mean? I got tired of losing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can sit here and you can make so much money to fill this table and make millions and millions and millions. And I say that in 87, you know what I'm saying, when me and Danny got together, you know, I made so much money. I mean, I've even lost like maybe close to $500,000, $350,000 in a closet one time. You know what I'm saying? Not even realizing that it was in there. I was taking out a bunch of sneakers one day, and they was all Nike boxes, and I take the box out, open them up. You know what I'm saying? Cause I only wore my sneakers one time. Like, I never wore the same thing twice. And you know, my partner, his little brother, used to come because he wore the same size I did. So after I wore my sneakers once, I would have him come to the crib and just take all the sneakers. So when he was taking the sneakers, he was opening up the boxes, and he opened up one box, and it had a bunch of money in it.
Like, damn,
So
I
yeah, so you know what I mean. So I gave him something. I gave him something for it though. But he was like, he's like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, this is for me. So I looked at it and I was like, yo. And the way the money was wrapped up, you know, we had it where we know, just look at the bundles and see how much it is. It wound up being like a little over 350,000. So I'm telling Danny, I said, yo, you put this up in the closet? So he's like, nah. So I was like, well, I don't remember putting it up in the closet, and you don't remember putting it up in the closet. So he said, why you thinking so hard? Just break it down, give me half and take half, and let's keep it moving. You know what I mean? So that's how it was. Like, money wasn't a thing. We didn't care about, like, you know, we be in the trunk, and we be downstairs or go pick up money, and got $250,000 in the trunk. You know what I mean? Just because you're going to pick up from different spots and do what you do. You know what I mean? So we wasn't really tripping on money. Money was nothing to us.
So what that was coming in every other day?
Every 3 or 4 days, you know what I'm saying?
250?
Every 3 or 4 days, 250 on the dot. Like, I tell you like this, like, once I got so good with my clientele and with my connections and people seeing me as a really good resource, I would have re-up days on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? And dudes from out of town or wherever, from in the hood or whatever, different other hoods, they would come through. They would give me all their money on a Thursday. And I would take $200,000, $250,000 and re-up with 10 dudes' money, and then come back and just give them what they asking for. You know what I'm saying? Because keep in mind, a lot of people I was like a master chemist at the time. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of dudes was losing. They were, you know what I mean? If they take and cook up 1,000 grams, they taking 1,000 grams, they only bringing back 8 and some change. You know what I'm saying? I'm guaranteeing you 1,000. But the thing for me is, I'm charging you 20,000 for a brick. I'm only paying 15 for it. So if I got 10 dudes coming to bring me 20,000 per, you know what I mean? Look how much I'm making off the rip. You know what I'm saying? And then after I cook it up, once I cook it up, I'm coming back crazy. And I'm bodying it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm taking a whole brick, putting it in the pot.
So you never was losing?
Never.
Klein
I
was
take
coming back?
448 grams, drop it on 1,000, and it's a wrap.
We'll come back on that.
That was coming
Alright.
back? All that shit was coming back?
What?
All right, Connor.
I was a master.
For Red Hook residents, their battleground is their home, and the enemy is literally on their doorstep. Drug dealers trading crack for cash on the stoops of the buildings in which they live. During our investigation, we saw hundreds of drug deals in a bold business that dealers describe as 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You have to have a quick eye because it's done so quick. While they're talking, they'll pass, the money's passed, and the drug is passed. And the next thing you know, the person's walking away. The drug selling is very open. The tenants are complaining. The tenants see it every day.
This is the busiest retail outlet in Red Hook. The dealers are young and smart, so most of the time buyers must seek their highs in hallways. It's a revolving door of drugs. Some come 2 and 3 times a night. The average transaction takes 20 to 30 seconds. Fridays and Saturdays, it's non-stop. As many as 120 deals an hour. And the money's good. Very
I
good.
got a question, man. I know you street dude and you legendary. What was your history with Alpo, Rich, and AZ?
I mean, for me, I wasn't like, you know, I was a Brooklyn dude, straight from the heart, you know what I mean? Like, Brooklyn all day, wake up in Brooklyn, you know, move around in Brooklyn, so, you know what I mean? I moved around in Harlem a little bit here and there, though, but my brother was one that was moving a little bit more heavier up there than at the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, you know what I mean? You know, you pushing a lot of money now, you know, and Harlem is, you know, Brooklyn is where it's at, you know what I mean? But, you know, Harlem got a lights, camera, action, you know what I mean? That type of
flashy,
thing.
yeah.
You know, that type of thing, you know what I mean? So I'm like, you know, it's cool, it's all good, you know, but, you know, the names, like when you talk about Rich and you talk about, you know, Paul and A and all them, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they didn't move me. Like, you know what I mean? Really, to be honest with you, you know what I mean? They didn't move me, you know what I mean? I was doing the same thing they was doing.
Exactly.
You know, living the same way they was living, you know what I mean? Like that, though. But, you know, I wound up having a little, you know, situation with Poe. You know, his girl wound up getting to a little altercation with my ex, you know, at the time.
Okay.
You know, we was at the airport. My cousin got hit up, you know what I mean, on another situation. So now we out there trying to address something else, and then I get caught up into a little cat fight. You know what I mean? And once they going through their little thing, I kind of breaking them up. And then Poe's wife, you know, his girl at the time, I don't know if she was a wife or whatever, but, you know, she wound up punching my arm down. And then I just started coming over and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Night-night.
Yeah,
Exclusive, you heard?
So,
Exclusive night-night.
You know, and then from there, then it was a thing where it kind of, it triggered something, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because, you know, the words came out of mouth, you know what I mean? The last nigga, this and that, whatever, you know what I mean? And it was a little sore, it was a little soreness already, you know what I mean? Because my man, you know, the homie, you know what I mean, Demencio got laid down, you know, so that was a thing that was, you know, kind of like up in the air real heavy. And, you know, Brooklyn was feeling away about that, you know, but, you know, here I go now, you know, and I express some words like, you know, I ain't no pretty boy nigga, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna come up to Harlem, you know, nigga ain't got to look for me, you know, I'm gonna look for him, you know what I mean? And I wound up going up there the next day with, you know, 2 of my own strong arms, and we went up there and, you know, my connect was up there at the time, but my connect was super heavy and he knew Poe and them. So when I told him what happened, he was like, yo, y'all two got to talk. So I said, I ain't got nothing to talk about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm up here for whatever. So it was crazy though, because it didn't take long for us to see each other. You know what I mean? So I saw him like the next day, you know, and then when Black Just from Queens, he on his motorcycle, Poe on his motorcycle, I'm on 127th and 7th Avenue at the time. And basically he was like, yo, Just was like, yo, Klein, what up, man? Go get your bike, you know, let's ride. So, you know, Poe looked over at me, you know what I mean? He did one of those things like, you know, nod and said like, you know, like, yeah, I see you, nigga, like, you know, that type of thing. And I'm like, you know, yeah, I see you too, you know what I mean? Like, that type of thing. So nothing happened. Poe got on his bike, started wheeling up 7th Avenue, you know, doing his thing. And then maybe about a week or two later, I was with the homies, you know what I'm saying, from Flatbush, you know what I mean, the Richmond Murder Incorporated crew, you know what I mean? And, you know, they don't play. They don't, you know, they don't even leave Brooklyn. Like, you know what I mean? These niggas, you know, stay black masked up all day. They go to sleep with black masks all day. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, they wasn't playing. They don't play no games. So, but, you know, I had a family member that was down with that. You know what I mean? So, You know, I wound up telling him what happened, and he's like, yo, let's slide up there. So we go up there. It's easy to see Poe. You know what I mean? It was always easy to see him. You know, I go on 125th, right there in front of the Apollo. Guess who I see? Poe and 2 other dudes that's on the motorcycles. So I'm on my bike. I'm throwing my joint up. I come out of a donut, throw my shit back up, and came back up and lift my helmet up. And when I lift my helmet up, one of the dudes that was with him was my man, Spanish kid. You know what I'm saying? That I was upstate with.
Okay.
So when he saw me, he kind of like waved over, like, yo, Klein. So I roll my bike over there, what up, talking to him, and he basically like, yo, what up, my dude, what's good? So he don't know that me and Poe was on some icy time, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He caught in the middle, not knowing what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
So Poe was like, yo, what up, man? You know, because like the whole Murder Incorporated, they parked across the street. They had their bikes facing the Apollo this way.
Yeah.
So it looked mad crazy, like 10 bikes facing this way and nobody taking their helmets off and everybody black masks.
Yeah.
So Poe was like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, yo, y'all niggas ride like that all the time? I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? He said, yeah, we do too. I said, yeah, I know where you go back. You know, you on 116th from Morningside. You know what I mean? Like, I know where you at, my nigga. You know what I mean? So he kind of looked at me like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing.
Yeah,
like,
like
this
you
nigga
know,
on point.
no,
Like,
yeah, he's on point. He's
that
out here,
type
we know what the fuck going on.
Like,
that type of
he
thing.
got one up on me right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a thing where it's like, you know, I didn't feel uncomfortable. He didn't feel uncomfortable. But then the next time we saw each other, which was still, again, not long after that, back on 127th, because my man Rodney, God bless the dead, he had a video, you know, store there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was me, Bismarcky, like, you know, Poe, and my other couple of homies, you know what I mean? We was all there, and Biz was ranking on my man. Like, they was going back and forth, and then after that, Biz said some crazy shit about the nigga Miles was a crackhead, and then, you know, it must have been true because he really got mad, you know what I'm saying? And they was about to fight, so long story short, my man told Poe that he wanted to come off to the side for me to talk to him. So when we started talking, he was like, yo, you know, I need y'all to talk, you know what I mean? Because I don't want this going no further, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all seeing each other, y'all bumping into each other too much now,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And then Poe was like, you know, he said, yo, check this out. He said, Klein, I know who you are, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we both know who each other is. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to let nobody put hands on the wife like that, you know what I mean? And then he said, because I don't want to come down to Brooklyn to be like, you know, looking over my shoulder, you know, not knowing how you going to come. And, you know, I don't want you coming uptown doing that too. And I said, yo, hold up, bro, stop. I said, no disrespect to you, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I said, but I'm not going to do none of that. I said, I got 2 joints for me I go to sleep with. You know what I mean? And if you get the best of that, and if you can get past that, then you a better nigga than me. I said, but this is what we going to do. I'm not gonna play no games with you because I'm not fucking your wife. I'm not with your wife. I'm not doing none of that. I didn't do that to get to you or none of that, whatever. Let's take money from each other. Because I don't want a nigga killing me over no bro. You know what I mean? So I said, let's take money from each other. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't, that happened, it wasn't for me to disrespect you. You know what I mean? If I'm going to disrespect you, I'm going to disrespect you straight up.
Straight up, yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was like, yo, you know what? We good. You know what I mean?
Shit.
He said, yo, we good. Because it's how I said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It was like, it wasn't trying to play the nigga. It wasn't trying to disrespect him through somebody else or something like that or whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, it was unintentional. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not sitting here trying to get a mark up on you, my nigga. None of that. You know what I mean? Like, my gun gold. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't play no games like that. My reputation spoke for itself. Like, I even tell dudes today, like, I'm not proud of what I used to be, but I'm not, and I don't say that I'm the richest nigga from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? I don't say that I'm the best gunman from Brooklyn, but I put myself in the top 5 in both categories. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, I didn't play no games. Like, you know what I mean? And today, I still don't play no games. Like, you know,
still here.
Yeah, like, you know,
Living legend.
I'm still here. I'm still here. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to be here, and I'm here for a reason. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not here to tell my story and it's be a story of glorification. You know what I'm saying? My story is based on redemption, man.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, I gotta tell it this way because this is the nature of having people pay attention to what you're saying.
This is what it is.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah. You was related to the kid that Frank sold the Mustang to back in the day, and that they killed him over there by Paradise.
Lil Ra was down with me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He was down with me.
He had just bought the 5.0 of Frank, and a week later he bought him right behind the window.
But he really didn't buy it. I was going to buy it from Frankie when I found out that Ra wanted it.
Okay.
Ra was the Ross started with me.
Okay.
Him and Tall Black Dominant, you know what I'm saying,
Okay.
in the back. And I forgot exactly how, you know, Rob parted ways though, but I had put Magic on, and you know what I mean, and then Rob started fucking with Magic, and then they started fucking with Abe with him, and then that's where my little problem came in, you know what I mean, with that little situation. Abe thought that I had something to do with him getting shot in his mouth, but after he realized that I didn't have anything to do with it, the niggas that shot him in his mouth was the same niggas that helped bail me out of prison.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually paid for my lawyer. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, do I do something to the dudes that just got me out of jail? You know what I'm saying? Or do I do something for Abe, which is Junior's? Well, Junior was my man. You know what I mean? And God bless Junior. Abe got involved in the game because he inherited what Junior left behind.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like story be told. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And then once that happened, then Joey got him around, and then, you know, all the other people got around, and so on and so forth, and everything else though. But then Abe really kind of felt like, you know, I had something to do with it. Like, dog, why do I have something to do with you getting shot in your mouth when I could have had you get shot in your head? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but still to the day, he don't think that now. You know what I mean? But, you know, a lot of shit had to happen. You know what I mean? People had to get laid down in their cribs and all that other good shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? They had to strip niggas of their power. You know what I'm saying?
We messing this kind of?
You had to take niggas' power from them. You know what I'm saying? You know, get down, lay down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't playing with you. Stop playing. You know what I mean? Like, you should have stayed my friend. Like, you know what I mean? You know, the only reason why, you know, God bless Junior, I'm gonna let you live, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. Like, you know, even with the panels, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't, like, they say kill or be killed, you know what I'm saying?
How that started with the panel?
At the time, I didn't want to get killed or be killed, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
That was y'all by C-Town? That shit didn't happen by C-Town?
Nah, I don't claim none of that, you know what I'm saying? But I got locked up for it. You know what I mean? But, nah, I got locked up for it, you know what I mean? And, you know, we did our time for it, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, it's a respect thing, man, you know, and we grew up with that.
So it was because of Klein that when we used to go to school, the teachers used to tell us at night, lay down on the floor when they start shooting.
Yeah. We put a curfew in the project.
Yeah,
I
was in the first floor too. I had to sleep on the floor and shit.
Yes. Crazy. Curfew on the projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when the panels come off the ship, you know what I mean? Their thing was, here, guns, drugs, kill Calvin Klein. Guns, drugs, kill Calvin Klein. Wow. That was the instruction.
Yeah.
Wow. Save your brother.
Yo,
kill Calvin Klein.
The Panamanians.
Wow.
They used to shoot up in the
As soon as they come up,
they was getting shot or deported or locked up. They kept coming though.
Yeah.
They kept coming.
They was coming full force, you know what I mean? And the thing for me is that, you know, Just was before me. You know what I mean? Just was before me, his brother Black and them, you know what I mean? Their whole team was before me, you know, and they held Red Hook down heavily. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of times, you know, you gotta be careful what you ask for, you know, and what I mean by that is I don't say better your own than somebody else, you know, but at the end of the day it's like Just he held Red Hook down to a certain extent and stopped a lot of people from coming in. You know what I mean? And then when it was my turn, I realized, you know, what that responsibility really was. You know, Jamaicans was coming in, panels was already heavily in. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're trying to take your projects back. You know, every panel messing with every girl that we grew up with. You know, panels getting all the money and disrespecting, you know, like everybody from around the way. Like, you know what I mean? And I didn't come from that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, what happened to us, man? Like, you know, what the fuck, yo? You know what I mean? You can't be serious, man. And that's where I took things personal at. You know, I had told myself that, you know, once I become a man of power, you know, I was gonna make some moves and I was gonna shake up some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, that's what it was. Like,
Definitely
you know,
shook some shit up.
A lot in the borough.
7 innocent people were injured in an August gun battle involving M16s. Police and tenants blame Panamanian dealers who they say are trying to shoot their way into Red Hook's drug scene. The Panamanians are moving into the project, but the established dealers aren't ready to move out.
I mean, it was a name thing, man. Like, you know, once you make a name for yourself, you know, then it's the rest is
you gotta maintain it, though.
Yeah, you know, you have to. I enjoyed it though. You know, I'd enjoyed going to war more than I did making money, to be honest with you.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't collect cars, I collect guns. You know what I mean? I didn't collect, you know, jewelry, I collect guns, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I was going to dudes and, you know, like, yo, listen, you know, don't sell those guns to these dudes over here. I give you $50,000 a month, you know what I mean, for every gun you can give me. You know, and my reason why I was saying that is, and was doing that because I felt like if somebody came and sold a bunch of guns to somebody that I didn't like or whatever, those are the guns that was going to kill me.
Right.
So why not invest a substantial amount of money, you know what I'm saying, to empower myself with as many as I can get, you know what I mean, and just, even if nothing else, just take them and put them away or hold them down, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that was my mindset, you know, I didn't care about a million cars, or I didn't care about, you know, millions of dollars in jewelry and things of that nature. I had my share of all that.
One more question, and this is right in the hood. What was your relation with Dumas?
A strong one. Yeah, a strong one, very strong. Dumas was my heart, man. You know what I mean? You know, God bless him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I know Dumas when Dumas had nothing. You know what I mean? I know Dumas when Dumas was homeless. You know what I mean? I know Dumas when Dumas was you know, washing his clothes in the Johnny Pump, you know what I mean, and laying everything out to dry on the benches, you know what I'm saying, in the summertime. Like that's the Dumas that I know when I was coming up. And then to see his full circle turnaround, you know, to reinventing himself into being like one of the pioneers, one of the legendary dudes that, you know what I mean, laid the ground down real hard. Like, you know, I love Dumas.
This man does walk Columbia Street in the project most nights. 6'4", 300-pound David Ross, alias David Dumar. Dumar doesn't live in the projects. Some say he just controls them.
A great number of the people in the community say that he is the #1 kingpin, so to speak, when it comes down to drugs out here. They relate a lot of the drug trafficking to Dumas.
Yeah, Dumas was a giant. You know what I mean?
He could play cards.
Yeah, he was a giant.
He
man.
could play cards
you know,
too.
He used to always see me, yo, B, I love you, B. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he would shake my hand, but he would have
back
he
catcher's
would,
mitt.
yeah, he had like 2 hands. His 2 hands would cover my one hand, and he would have a Bible.
Rings, boy.
Yeah, the ring that he had a Bible, because he was like, a lot of people don't realize that Dumas was very religious. You know what I'm saying? He was extremely religious. You know what I mean? He was very, very religious.
Oh yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
I remember one time I seen him with a bat, and the bat looked like this.
Yeah, but he
So
had
the
the
time-
he had a bat. Like, I had a system, because I was a system king in Red Hook. Everybody tell you my car system game was crazy, but Dumas had the Lincoln townhouse, and he used to blast his system. He used to lift the trunk up and have a bat holding it up so the music could bang out the back of it.
Sound louder.
So it could sound louder. So when I come through, he going, yo, B, yo, why my shit don't sound like yours? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, take me where you got yours at. And I took him in, and he went and got a system. I had the LS400. I had the 16 speakers in, 2 bazookas in the back with precision powers. I was going to say HKs, but I had the HKs before that. But I'm talking about the precision power amps.
Right,
you know what I mean? And I'm pushing out maybe more than
Niggas
6,000 to 8,000 watts.
Niggas love bazookas in the trunk.
Exactly. I body Bismarcky on that. Biz will tell you. You know what I'm saying? Me and Biz still go back
Biz,
and
you
forth
with
with
the ass on that
that.
or what?
Me and Biz still go back and forth with that. Yeah, I bodied him, and he'll tell you that. He when he see this, he gonna be like, Calvin, I told you to stop that, man. Leave that alone, man. Leave that alone. Biz had the MPV van, and we was up at the Apollo. And we still, like I said, we still go back and forth on who bodied who on that night. You know what I'm saying? But I'ma still hold to that Biz. I still feel like I got you. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like I got you. I'm telling you, and you know that.
How many windows you broke?
Oh, plenty.
Plenty?
Plenty. But you should ask me how many hearts I broke. And I'll say plenty. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
But
you had to, man.
it was like, you know what I mean, Red Hook was the foundation, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying, but I'm from Red Hook. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, yeah, it's like, you know, you got people from all around the world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you move around the world, you be surprised that when people say, yo, I'm from Red Hook too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's pride. Cause you know where you come from. We come from the back of the stadium where we had D-Train, Evelyn Champagne King, like, you know what I mean? All the big artists from back in the days coming to Red Hook to perform. You know what I'm saying? And then when you talking about the Spanish, you know what I mean, live Spanish sessions and all that other stuff, man, we come up from that. You know what I mean? So, and then you talking about going to the back where the drag racing, people from all over, from Alabama, South Carolina, they all come from all over the place just to race their cars in Red Hook. We had that was like the Indy 500 for us. You know what I'm saying? It was like
dangerous
real,
as fuck too.
And then they was racing for titles. You know what I'm saying? Like they racing for titles. Like I remember when the Chainlings used to go back there heavy. I saw one race where one dude was racing for the car, and the dude lost their car and everything else. The dude didn't want to give up the title. They said, "All right, cool, fuck it." They took the car and pushed it in the water. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck you and your car now. You know what I mean? So it was heavy. So now you grow up. When for me, like Red Hook is like a place of where you grow up to respect. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you know I don't know how to be disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not how Red Hook raised me. Red Hook didn't raise me to be disrespected. Red Hook didn't like, you know, like but I was raised with a lot of respect too to give it. You know what I mean? In that sense. You know what I mean? Like you know, when they say gangsters not dangerous. Gangsters dangerous when they need to be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But when you deal with most gangsters, the humility is there. You know what I'm saying? They're very humble. They carry themselves in the same respectful way, in the same very respectful manner, you know. And then when you get out of line, my thing was, I love the bully. You know what I mean? I love somebody when they used to talk about how they was a bully and this and that and everything else. All right, I'm gonna show you not the bully. I'm gonna show you not a bully. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be your bully to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shut you down and show you that you're not who you say you are. That's why I used to love the most.
That's the best feeling, right? That's satisfaction right there.
You humble, but always ready to rumble.
Yeah, exactly. You had to, you know. You had to. We was taught, you know, shit, pop the antenna off the car, you know, if you had to. My mother said, I don't give a fuck if you gotta pick up a bag of potato chips. You know what I'm saying? Off the ground, an empty bag of potato chips. Find something and whip their ass. You know what I'm saying? Do what the hell you got to do. Don't come up in my house talking about you lost. You know what I mean? So I don't
catch your ass with
exactly. You know what I mean? Like you know, I might have caught a few L's though, but you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day,
that's part of fighting though.
It is
when
though.
You fight, you gotta get hit.
Yeah, you know I couldn't sleep at night afterwards though. I had to go out there and find somebody else and find the same person or whatever and go back at them again. I fought the same nigga 2 or 3 times until I actually beat them.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's how you gotta be, man. So how you feel Red Hooks now? The new Red Hook.
I love the potential that it can have. You know what I'm saying? But, you know...
You think the kids that's growing up right now is doing the right thing about Red Hook?
Not necessarily. You know, and the reason why I say that, you know what I mean, is because our excuse was, as far as when we were younger, was the 70s generation go from the shooting dope and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? We blamed them. We blamed them for our era. You know what I mean? So every era
they blaming us.
Yeah, everybody got somebody to blame in their era. But the way they can blame us is that we wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like we did time. Like in the 90s, we did time. Like when the crack era was booming. But then if you got busted for 125 grams of crack, that's almost life. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing 15, 20 years, you know what I'm saying, for an ounce of crack. You know what I mean? You know, you get 5 days for an ounce of coke though, but you getting 20 years for an ounce of crack. You know what I mean? So now when you leave a 1-year-old behind or a 6-month-old behind, and then you do 20 years, and when you come home, you know that kid's 20 years old, like. You left a whole. You went from a whole generation. Like you know what I'm saying. Like you left a whole generation behind. And 9 times out of 10, that child or the parent, you know what I mean, for one reason or the other, can't take that journey with you. They can't do the 20 years with you. They can't do the 15 years with you. You know what I'm saying? Because they gotta find their way to surviving out there. So they wind up dealing with somebody else or dealing with another situation, and then now it's like somebody else is raising yours. So now you bitter through your time. You bitter when you go home, and you know all that stuff. So you got a distant relationship. You know what I mean, with your child, or you know what I mean, with whoever, whatever. You know what I mean, and that's the part that You know, and I say when people talk, people resolve. You know what I mean? But a lot of times people feel so bitter about having that conversation, they never have it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, and me myself, like, I don't get caught up with that. I don't hate long. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't fuck with you. But you know what I mean? But I don't hate long. You know what I mean? I don't sit, even prime example of dude talking about me when they actually came home and tried to promote what they had going on. I didn't name the nigga name. You know what I mean? Like, even in my interviews, I'd be like, yo, I don't even want to talk about dude because I don't know him. You know what I mean? But you know, people that seek for notoriety, you know, they seek the opportunity to mention somebody's name that they don't even know.
He came out too late with that one, though.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, like, you know, I don't knock him for being asleep all that time. You know what I mean? Like, if you say you don't know me, but you know of me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know, knowing of me is to respect me. Really, to be honest with you.
You ever got to conversate with the dude?
Nah, why? I went like
right?
having conversation with somebody like that,
right?
You know, is undeserving of. You know what I mean? Especially with the reputation and the status that he actually currently holds now. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like, I don't have to kill you because you killed yourself.
Right,
you know what I mean? But everybody has a story. You know what I mean? And everybody has a following from that story. You know what I mean? So he got his small base. He got his 2 minutes of talking about Klein. You know what I mean? He had his moment in time. You know what I mean? And I'm actually giving some light to that, even right now. You know what I mean? Even by just talking about it.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Because when Klein talk, people listen.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just funny. It's just funny how, you know, how that goes. You know what I mean?
When
like,
you first heard that, how you felt? How that sat with you? Like, you serious?
I wanted to address it like 88.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I to be honest with you, you know, I wanted to address it like 88. You know what I mean? But I was getting phone calls telling me, like, you know what I mean, shut it down. Like, you know, don't address it, leave it alone. You know, don't put no fire on it or nothing like that. And the truth of it is that reason why I left it alone because it wasn't about me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, names that he mentioned or certain things that he was talking about, you know, it brought other people involved. You know, and it, you know, if he would have just mentioned me, then it would just been a direct situation where him and I would have just been talking. But you know, when now you mention other people's names, you know, then you know it brings light to the whole situation now.
How you don't bring the street dude back out? You know what I'm saying? What makes you gotta think 10 times? Like,
I think for the dummy. You know what I mean?
You always gotta think for the next man.
I think for the dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's easy for me though because I see them now. You know what I mean? I see it coming. Like I'm a chess player. You know, so I try to think 3 and 4 steps. You know, 3 and 4 moves ahead.
Right.
You know, so when I see him coming, it's like, wow. I already know you was coming through. You know what I mean? I already knew that this was going to happen, or I already knew you was going to say this, or I already knew that you was going to say that, or Klein is this. Like I said, you know, Klein is good, Klein is bad, Klein is ugly, Klein is indifferent. You know what I mean? So, you know, and those is different people. You know what I'm saying? This person won't like the good Klein. This one person will not like the bad Klein. Like maybe I might have said something to somebody in your family in the past, or maybe you might be the son of the father that I did something to, you know, or the son of the mother that, you know what I mean, said that, you know, I did her dirty back in the days and, you know what I mean, we ain't on good terms and good speaking terms, or Klein denied you, you know, he said, I told him you was his father, like, you know what I mean, like, you know, something like that, so, you know, it could be anything, any one of those things that you can find that you don't like me or whatever though, but, you know, I feel like I'm like more than anything else, you know what I mean, and I take that, and then also to top all that also, I'm blessed and I'm favored. You know what I mean? Like when you see me, this is what you get. Right. You know what I mean? You get a good nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a nigga that I respect. You know what I mean? Like this era. You know, I respect this era. I respect this generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you
like
definitely
I don't.
got to.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't knock them.
I don't shop on Delancey Street. You know what I mean? But
you used to.
You know, yeah, I used to. You know what I'm saying?
Shirley's
But, you know,
and all that.
You know, you grow.
They're trying to bring it back though.
Right. Yeah, so then I'll go. Yeah, I go back if they bringing it back though. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm enjoying life. Like this is another phase of my life right now. You know that I'm actually enjoying. Like before any other times, it was like, you know, general standing tall. You know what I mean? You know the guns popping, like guns at the funeral, guns at the
ego,
you know,
too much
like,
pride,
all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like right now, what you get out of me now is me telling my story though. But some may not believe it or not think it though. But I'm telling my story very humbly.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
From a humble being, like, you know what I mean?
Just
Like,
being positive,
you know,
just giving that.
I'm tired of going through dark sides of my life.
Yeah.
Tired of, you know what I mean, having to, you know, wake up in the middle of the night and having to wring my shirt out because I done sweated 2 t-shirts out through the middle of the night, you know what I mean, because the dark shit in my head, like, you know what I mean, like, and, you know, a lot of people can relate to that, you know what I'm saying, if they come from that type of life of living, you know what I mean, like, so, you know, and you know, I still carry some of the same similar tactics, you know what I mean, you know, checking my rearview mirrors or, you know, moving a certain way because that's just the way the streets is. You know, once a wolf, always a wolf. You know what I mean? So, you know, and but at the same time, you know, wolves respect you when you fall back too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they salute you and they, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I see you, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. I see what you're doing. You know, I see who you're trying to help, but I don't need that help. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you helping them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Like, yo, listen, my dude, I got this one, man. You know, on to the next one. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Because that's what I do. Like, I jump out there and go, yo, give me a pass on this one, man. This kid right here want to go to school. You know what I mean? This kid right here want to go to college. This kid right here want to do this and that. You know, he not like me and you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, I can't save everybody, though, but I can save the ones who I feel that, you know what I mean, I really want to be saved.
Even if you just save one, man, that counts.
That means enough. That counts.
It's hard, though. It's hard, though,
Definitely
because, you know, I even when I used to go to Rikers Island, I used to speak to the, you know, to the young homies up in Rikers Island, you know, I used to be like, yo, by the show of hands, how many of y'all dream? You know what I mean? And a lot of them never raised their hands, you know what I mean? I said, wow, that's a problem, you know what I mean? Because if when you go to sleep, you mean to tell me that throughout the 7 to 8 hours that you sleep, you're sleeping in a natural state of darkness? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy for me that, you know, there's no more thoughts in your mind that when you wake up from something that was bright to you. You know what I mean? Or something like that. So now it's like they're going to go through their time and they just going to do the time because that's what they have to do. But when they get out, they're getting out still to nothing. And they went in with nothing, but they're going out to nothing. So what do you expect them to do? What bothers me most nowadays now is
I never looked at it like that, man. That's
But what bothers me most now is the ignorance. You know what I mean? Like we had a lot of ignorant things about what we did when we was younger and things like that. But to walk up to a lady and take a pocketbook, or just to walk up to somebody and punch them in the face and do, you know what I mean? Just like that baffles me, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that disturbs me so much to where it's like, dog, you really think that you only doing that because you want to go to jail? You know what I'm saying? Like that's just have to be the reason.
It's like the cool thing to do nowadays.
You only like you don't see no way of surviving out here on the streets because you know when you go to jail you guarantee 3 meals. You know what I'm saying? You guarantee an outfit and you guarantee shelter. You know what I mean? So when you go walk up to somebody and do something stupid, they the victim obviously. You know what I'm saying? But why don't you just walk up to the precinct and just tell them, yo, how many cold cases y'all got? I'll take one of those. You know what I'm saying? Just leave the innocent people alone. Just go up in there and just take your cold case. You know what I'm saying?
If you're going to do something bad, do it to another bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, walk up, do something to somebody who you know deserve it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, who you know literally deserve something to happen to them. So now I won't be mad at that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But just to walk up on somebody 70 years old, 80 years old, wait until you get them in the elevator and do something to them and all this other stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, dog. Like, you can't be serious, man. Life can't be that damn bad, man.
Why, right?
Yeah,
that's the question.
Yeah,
why?
It can't be that. But it's based on a lot of people being followers. You know what I mean? Like I told a story in use a scenario. You know what I mean? In Rikers Island, and I was like, yo, just do this. We gonna call this imagination. You know what I mean? When you say imagination, I say imagine your man down in the under the building with you. It's real dark, and he said the next person come inside this building, we're gonna rob them. And then once the next person comes, y'all don't see who the person is. Right. He grabs her, throws in a yoke, pulls in the elevator, gets her upstairs on the roof. Y'all actually rob her. But he changes his mind, and he wound up start raping her. So now once he start raping her, and this is not a true story, you know what I'm saying? Right. But I just said imagination. Right. Now he turns a robbery into a rape, you know what I mean? And then he wound up telling his man, because you're a follower, you know what I mean? His man gets on top of the lady and starts raping her as well. Now he raping her while they in the dark. He don't see who the lady is or nothing. Right. So now all of a sudden, guess what happens? A little red light comes out of nowhere. And it hits the lady and it hits him.
And it's
He couldn't even deal with it. The lady wound up being his mother.
oh,
The lady wound up being his mother. You know what I'm saying? So now, his mother grabs him and says, "Son, I love you. I forgive you."
That's what you be chills.
You know what I mean? I love you and I forgive you. But guess what he does? He can't take it. So he winds up jumping off the roof. He kills himself. But guess what you leave behind? You leave the effect of raping your mother and leave behind the other effect of killing yourself in front of your mother. So how selfish is that? You know what I'm saying?
Selfish. And that's what it is nowadays. Definitely selfish.
Yeah. So I say that while you're still alive. You know what I mean? Stop following people. Follow yourself. It's not a problem making a change. Like, that's where a lot of people have a problem at, that they feel like they have to continually follow what their peers are doing, continually follow what other people are doing, and at the same time, they really want to stop. They really want to say, yo, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. But being that they following and don't want to be the first one to break the chain, they're going to keep on doing what they're doing, not even liking what they're doing.
Right.
Like, who does that? No, why would you be doing things? That's like having a job, doing something that you don't like doing. You wake up every day working, doing
being
something
fake.
that you don't like doing. Come on, man. And right now, for me, myself, I love what I'm doing. You know, I love what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even about the money. You know what I mean? Because God took everything from me a few times. Not even just talking about my freedom. Financially, took everything from me. One time, even, I'll give you another thing. Very exclusive. Akon told me one time before, I never had this conversation before. I went to Akon and told Akon that I needed $150,000. And I needed it. He said, when do you need it? I said, I need it today. He said, I'm getting ready to leave the country. I'll be back in 30 days. I'll give it to you then. I said, no, Con, I need it right now. I said, matter of fact, I need it like immediately.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he said, my nigga, you know what? I changed my mind. Not giving it to you. So I said, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I said, Con, I ain't got time for this shit, man. Come on, man. Come on. So he said, yo, you have to lose everything and we're going to start all over and get it back for you. And I didn't understand what he meant when he said that.
How you took it?
I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's what the problem was. You know what I'm saying? I was out of the game, but I was in the game. You know what I'm saying? And when he realized that, his thing was, we as a convict and as a team have way too much to lose for you to have any foot on the other side. That's what I learned from that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
That's what I learned from that. So he said, in order for you to come back on this side, you got to lose all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
That
You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. I was amazed at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when he said that, I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. But guess what? I lost it all. I lost it all.